Hello everyone, it's me. I'm a journalist with a small local paper here in Maine, and believe it or not, this is our biggest story in years. It's got everything: mystery, murder, maybe even a little bit of the supernatural. It's been keeping us busy for weeks now, and we're not close to having all the answers. So what happened? Well, 6 months ago, we had our first missing person. A young woman named Samantha Reed disappeared from her home in the middle of the night. She was last seen around midnight when she went out to a porch to get something out of her mailbox. When her boyfriend woke up in the morning, she was gone. All the front doors were locked, so nobody could have gotten in or taken her. There was no sign of a struggle, no signs of entry. But still, she was gone. The police searched, but they didn't find anything. They don't think she's alive anymore, but neither does anyone else. Then, 4 months later, another girl vanished without a trace. And then another, and then another. 6 girls in total, no connection between them except for the fact that they all lived in different parts of this town. And then every single one of them disappeared from their homes. Now, each case is different. For example, with 2 of them, the front doors of their houses were wide open the next morning. But for the others, well, those doors were locked tight. But in each case, the people who lived there were gone, vanished into thin air. And then there's no sign of a struggle. Nothing was stolen. Cars were left in the driveway. Food was left on the table. TVs were left on. Their lives were just paused, stopped in an instant. Now, the police don't want to admit it, but this is a nightmare scenario. I mean, there are only about 2,000 people who live here, so when 6 people disappear in 6 months, that's a lot. Now the police are stumped. They don't know what's happening, but the locals, well, they do. They claim there's an old legend around these parts about something called the Whispering Shadows. See, this is a very rural town, a place where generations of families have lived and died. And before cell phones, before internet, if you wanted to talk to your friends, you had to walk down to the general store or sit on your porch and call out to them, and most folks did. I mean, that's how you kept up with people in this day and age. So imagine you're sitting on your porch in the evening. Maybe it's hot and muggy and the cicadas are buzzing, and then all of a sudden you hear someone whispering your name. You turn around. Who's there? Nobody. And then you hear it again. Your name. And then your whole body starts shaking and you can't control it. Your legs start running. You don't know where they're going, but they keep running until you trip over something and fall to the ground, and then you die. And some say that's what happens here in these woods. At night, the trees themselves whisper your name to lure you out of your house, so they can drag you away forever. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. That's why the police aren't looking into it. But there are things here that don't add up. Like take that first girl, Samantha. We checked her cell phone records. On the night that she disappeared, she received a call from an unknown number. We tracked that number to this area. We searched everywhere. We even put trackers in the woods, but we never found anything. I mean, this looks like the middle of nowhere. Like nothing's ever gonna happen out here. But what if it does? What if it already has? Yeah, this place is starting to freak me out a little. We've been spending a lot of time up here lately, trying to find some answers, and we haven't found any. Yeah, this sucks. I mean, I've never been much of a crier, but I can't help it. Not after what happened to my father. He was the chief of police here 25 years ago, and he disappeared in the line of duty. He was investigating the disappearance of a boy who ran away from home, and then the next morning the chief was gone. Some say the Whispering Shadows took him, too. Honestly, I don't know what to believe, but I do know that the legend goes deeper than that. They say that whoever is behind these whispers is hungry for more than just one life. See, each time it takes someone, it also claims their closest relative, their blood. In every family there are sacrifices. It's just the way things work out here. After the initial shock wore off, the other 5 families tried to move on, but they couldn't. Within days, each one of them met a horrible fate. 2 of them were killed in car accidents. 1 jumped off a cliff while hiking. Another burned to death in his house. And the last one drowned in his swimming pool. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired. This whole thing is getting to me. It's always quiet at night. The wind blows through the pines and sometimes the deer wander right past you. It's nice. I mean, I've never heard anything. The legends, though, they say that the closer you get to finding the truth about these woods, the more danger you put yourself in, because they don't want anyone to know what really happens here. I'm not sure what I expected when I came up here, but it wasn't this. Honestly, I thought I was going to find something, some kind of evidence, maybe some footprints or tire tracks or something, but there's nothing. And the longer I stay out here, the more scared I'm getting. I swear I heard a twig snap. Hello, is anybody out there? 6 months ago when Samantha disappeared, a man called the police and reported her missing. He said he was her boyfriend, that he was the last person who saw her alive. He told them he had dropped her off at her house around midnight and then drove home. But when he got home, Sam was gone. Her front door was locked tight and there was no sign of a struggle. But when the police questioned this boyfriend, he broke down and confessed to something terrible. He was driving home around midnight, he said, when he saw a pair of headlights coming toward him. He swerved onto the shoulder to let them pass, and when he looked back up, he realized he didn't recognize the car. He was pretty sure it wasn't from around here, and so he made a U-turn and started following them. He didn't want to be nosy, but he couldn't help himself. and then he followed those headlights to Samantha's house. He watched as the car stopped in front of her house, and saw a man get out and walk up to her front door. He knocked a few seconds past, and then the door opened. Samantha stepped out and walked away with that man, leaving her front door wide open. Then they got in the car and drove off together. And so the police spent a lot of time with this guy, but they never found any evidence. I mean, he was obviously lying about something, but what? The truth is, that night was probably the most terrifying of his life. He swears he never told anyone what he saw that night because he was too scared, because he thought they wouldn't believe him. But when he finally came forward with the story, the police thought he was hiding something, and honestly, I do too. I mean, I appreciate him calling us, but I think he knows more than he's saying. He says he didn't see that man's face, that he was too far away. But come on. I mean, he knew which house it was. He knew exactly where to go when he knocked on the door. He knew Samantha would be there waiting for him. This was supposed to be a quick trip, in and out, grab a few supplies, drive home before nightfall. But now I'm stuck here and I'm alone. And now I'm starting to get scared. Oh God, what was that? What if it's the shadows? What if they're real? What if they're watching me right now? In the end, the man was arrested for killing Samantha. It wasn't hard to prove he had done it. The police found his fingerprints in her car and traces of her DNA in the trunk of his car. But when they asked him why, he just laughed and said, "How could you stop me? Those woods, they make you do crazy things." But now it's too late. The damage is done. All 6 of those girls are dead, and I'm not sure anyone's ever gonna find out what really happened here. I don't want to know what's out there. I don't want to find out what's in these woods. I don't want to see the whispering shadows. So can you blame me for wanting to leave?